Just a beautiful day to be grazing cattle. These cattle are up on a pasture that's got quite a bit of slope to it. Nice little 30-month-old heifer that's got a calf on it. A Triton daughter. Look at that beautiful udder. These cattle are a little unhappy here, according to my son. I was gone. They had to eat a little bit of a bale of hay, so I didn't like that much. But now we've had 2 or 3 inches of rain there last night. So I put them in this cell. It's called the feedlot. And it's got a really good slope to it. That's kind of why we used to feed cattle there back when we fed them corn and finished out fat cattle and took them to St. Joe, and even before that one. They shipped them on a rail car to Chicago back in the 30s and 40s. So it's been cattle fed there a long time. It's highly fertile. You see the old ear corn elevators that we used to use to put ear corn in the feeder shed. That one in particular is on steel wheels. It's got cable lifts. There used to be a corn crib set right past that black and white steer. When I was a kid, I scooped their corn out of that into a roller mill to feed cattle in this very feedlot, and then later they would get to where they'd sort the cob out. They wouldn't eat it. At first they would eat a lot of that cob, but then as they got on more grain and more grain, they sorted that out. Leave a lot of it. A few more of them passing through here now. The latecomers are usually the babies. They decided to go into mamas. But anyways, those cattle would finally get to where they wouldn't eat the cob, so it was always my job when I got home from school was to scoop the cob up in a 5-gallon bucket, and we carried it in the little barn up there. And then we fed them with it because they went in the barn at night. Something we don't do anymore. So a lot has changed in the last 50 years, and even more in the last 95. That's how long our family's been on this land. So a lot of history behind Natural Grandma, and now that we know how to take care of animals. Not very many people watch these videos, so if you would be the mind to, I would love it if you would watch it all the way to the end and then share it with somebody and ask them to watch it all the way to the end. It really helps our ratings and helps get the word out to more people, because we just want to help people learn how to be regenerative, how to use our chicken tractors, how to utilize animals to work the ground, because on our land we have very little runoff. We have a high water infiltration rate. We can bring in 3 gallons an hour and soak it up. I drove by a field today that was all powder and been, corn coming up in it, and it's got tile terraces and waterways. In fact, the man used to own a construction company, and every bit of money and power that was possible on earth has been used to make that water not run off that field real fast, but it's all worked down into a powder with no residue on top. And guess what? The water runs off, and the terraces look like about half of the style terraces. The water went over the top, and man, we must have really got a lot of rain. My farm's gonna be in a mess when I get down there. I get down here and my grass is just soaked the water all up, and there's not very much running off of this farm. That will make a difference later this summer. Hey, get prepared for May 28th to be sure and get signed up on that app. Roots So Deep that you can see the devil from there, by Peter Beck. It tells this story, and it proves the science of how regenerative agriculture. They did it with cattle, but they're looking at working with the multi-species people like us, how that we can stop this carbon problem, the global warming problem. We can stop all the runoff and the floods, and we could do a lot of that just by the way we take care of our land and do it with animals, kind of the way God intended it before we got kicked out of the garden. So let's get back to the garden. How about that? Sometimes back to some of the old ways would be better. What do you think about all that? Roots so deep, you can see the devil from there. Even when you watch that 4-some-hour documentary, it's going to cost you $20 to own it and be able to watch it for 90 days. One of the men made that comment in that documentary. You're going to see where they got the title. And that's your grandma. We believe in regenerative. We believe in the regenerative process. We don't always do it perfect, but you know there's a lot of forgiveness when you move the cattle every day. So my friend Joel Salton always asks you, if you're asking him a whole bunch of questions, do you move your cattle every day? Or animals? Are you moving them every day? And if your answer is no, he'll say, well, go home and get that going. And when you've got that done, come ask me another question. In other words, the most important thing you can do in the regenerative world, no matter what species, is move the cattle every day. Hey, like my barn swallows, tree swallows. See them swarming over those cattle. Adult pair of barn swallows or tree swallows, I think they eat 9,000 or 10,000 flies a day, insects a day. So they're swarming over our cattle there. Makes me smile. What about that bale of hay and that one over there? You think they got enough nat wrap on them? That's the bales I bought. That one that's white there, I've had it for 2 years. I think it's got 100 wraps of nat wrap on it. Makes it pretty well shed the water. So when I get around, it's always the last bale I think about feeding it. For whatever reason, this year I just didn't feed it. Last year I didn't feed it. I don't think I fed it the year before. So. But it's still there. They say hay in the barn is like money in the bank. And boy, in the last 2 years, that's for sure. Well, it's good to visit with you a little bit on this Sunday morning. I got to go home and change my boots and get ready to go worship in a corporate place. A natural grandma. We wish you were